All right. So good evening to everyone. My name is Winnie, and I hope that you're having uh, uh, your best time here. And thank you, Philippine Technology, for this opportunity to actually share. And I know that this community is a gathering of leaders, not just from the student side, but also from the professional side. And just happy to be here. So thank you for inviting me. My talk is going to be about your true north. I titled it as your true north mainly because I wanted to share how can we find that star, that north star, and focus on how to build our career profile instead of not just the career path. So, what do we say about the North Star? It's the anchor of the northern star of the northern sky. It's not necessarily the brightest star, but it is a landmark. It has been a landmark. It has been used as a landmark or a sky marker, and everyone who follows it are able to determine the direction. And because it glows brightly, it is able to guide and lead toward a purposeful destination. So similarly, our career profile or our career path does that for us. I like the I like the how do I shift? So I like the saying that Tim Cook has actually provided, and it talks about how the North Star is playing in the field. No, so he said that your North Star would actually be your values. So your values matter, and the word takes on a different new meaning, whole new meaning when you feel that you're pointed in the right direction. Otherwise, it's just a job. So your career just becomes a job if you don't have any values in it. And life is too short for that. So that's according to Tim Cook. Okay. Um, I'm, I am not able to share. Okay, so who knows this guy? So this guy is actually not a master of anything, no, but he has created all of these things. Elon Musk is the head and the brain behind the PayPal, SpaceX, Tesla, Hyperloop, Solar City, Neuralink, and to think that he all did this not because he was a technology graduate, but because he just so wanted doing it. And that is one of the reasons why we say that the CIO role is no longer the highest or is no longer the pinnacle of any IT career nowadays, because digital business has created white spaces into which technology leaders are best positioned to step. So CIOs are increasingly moving to other roles such as COO, CEO, or any business line leader. You can become what you want to be nowadays. So it's not just when you reach a CIO role, oh, that's already the highest. No, you can be whatever you want to be. You can start another company. You can start another. Um, you can be even a board of director in any of the companies. So during these times of uncertainty, knowing what to do next is easier to figure out if people or individuals have a light to shine toward what is in front of them, similar to the North Star. For organizations, values serve that role. But for individuals, it is the sense of personal purpose, the synergy between what they are great at and what they love and what is needed. So that's why I love this guy so much, because he is the embodiment of that specific sense of purpose. Okay. I mentioned anchoring yourself to a purpose. Most of you might have probably read or know Martin Luther King. When he was 34 years old, he had this I had a dream speech. So he was very, very young when he started that. And he so wanted to start the civil rights movement. And he went to a mentor. So he asked, what does the world need now? And that mentor said, what has made you come alive? So that was the only question that that person was trying to ask Martin Luther King. So in his mind, he was talking about the civil rights movement, but the mentor was asking him, what is that one thing that is making you come alive? And That's what the world actually needs. It doesn't need anyone with a dream or anyone who doesn't, if who just wants to start a movement, but the world needs people who have come alive. I want to share with you my life story because when I was younger and we started from very humble beginnings, I pushed that and I used that as a purpose to make it possible that my parents would actually live a very comfortable life after graduation because I have seen them work hard and was not able to provide the needs that our family actually requires. So I am the eldest in a brood of five. And when on my 18th birthday, I promised myself that I will make sure that my parents will actually have everything of what they are worrying now gone and disappear as soon as I actually am able to work. So what I did was to plan my future. And I did all that just based on textbooks. I did not have a mentor at that time. I was just 18 years old. I would not have professors who I can call mentors, and I would not have professional career mentors as well. So I did not have any idea what career path am I going to have. So I just did my research on textbooks. And I saw that if I become a programmer, I would then be able to become systems analyst and then probably reach to becoming a project manager. I gave myself like 6 years. And in the span of 6 years, I should be able to get a home for my parents because I so wanted to give them a comfortable life that they were not able to provide us. So I promised that. And for a time, that has become my purpose. So if I am to go back to the conversation between Martin Luther King and that mentor, what has made you come alive? Then that specific dream, what has made me come alive. So in essence, anchoring yourself to a purpose actually gives you at least a path of where you would want to go, what path you would want to take in the future. The second piece is becoming uncomfortable. Last 2019, and I'm going to share with you one specific activity in Coca-Cola where I am very most proud of. In 2019, we were doing several initiatives, several technology initiatives. And then one day, we were cleaning the trucks, and our CEO was asking me, Winnie, can you do a tech lunch? And I was just like, how do I do a tech lunch? What do you mean I do a tech lunch? And he said, why don't you do something similar with what Steve Jobs has done? And he was referring to the launch of the Apple iPhone. And then I said, okay, so what do you want me to do in the Apple launch? Do you want me to give away tablets? Because that's going to be easy. And then he said, no. I want you to launch all that you have worked for in the past 6 months, 8 months, and then deliver it on this day and making everybody aware of what technology advances have we already put forward. So I said, I stopped for a moment and I didn't know where to start. And I was already thinking the project backlogs that we have in the company, will we be able to finish all those in January? We were speaking in August, and that is just going to give me like 4 or 5 months to actually deliver everything so that by January I will be able to do something. You know what I said? I learned during my entire career that I should say yes to something, even if it's very uncomfortable, even if it's very hard for me. But because I know that I will have time to actually study and to actually make preparations enough for us to deliver something, I said yes, without even knowing if in 5 months I will be able to pull all those initiatives, all those technologies together. So when January came, we did host 200, the top 250 leaders of the company in a hotel. And we asked all of them in that gathering to be very cautious and very pragmatic. And we want them to learn fast. You know, the leadership of the top 250 in Coca-Cola is a mix of several age groups. And as the technology lead for Coca-Cola, I know that the main challenge is actually infusion of technology to a different mix of age groups. So what I wanted the team to understand is that learning and technology can be fun altogether. So we gamified the entire experience. We made it more fun for the age brackets who would always complain about hitting screens or pressing any buttons. So we made it fun. We made it more business, and it was like a Disney experience for them. It was a very uncomfortable situation at the beginning because it was like committing to something, but it made us deliver to what we promised the organization. At the end of that day, everyone from the top 250 was actually thanking us. They even gave the entire technology team a round of applause, mainly because of the many things that they were able to learn in that day. We launched like 7 applications during that day, and all of them, the top 250, went home learning new tricks, and learning a lot of things from the technology side. So it's not really true that old dogs don't learn new tricks, but that day we proved that everyone can actually learn faster. Just they just need to give it a try. So that was the technology launch. Um, I also learned that long-term success come from short-term embarrassment. And what do I mean by this? This is a quote that I got from Sunil Gupta, the founder of Rise. The practice sessions, or whenever we would have a period where probably we have made mistakes because we have chosen a wrong career, or we have made mistakes because it was not the step to actually where we want to be. It is actually called a practice session. In these practice sessions can be an exhibition matches so that you can learn more. And even if it makes you uncomfortable, because if it does not make you comfortable, then you are not learning. So I think all of these things that you learn along the way actually make you a better person and a better professional. To maintain a competitive advantage in the marketplace and to create a more sustainable and rewarding career over time, one must take full responsibility for it. Gone are the days that the traditional approach to actually planning your career and relying it to your employer and follow a rigidly defined lockstep progression career path. It's no longer applicable in this time or in this age. Remember the first slide or the second slide that I showed you where Elon Musk is? So it's no longer career path that you are planning, that you are actually following. So in my entire career, if I can share with you, I probably would have followed in the first few years a textbook concept that a career path should start with programming and then ending up with becoming a project manager. Ultimately, trying to understand that it does not end there and it does not even start from there. So you have to really build a career profile rather than a career path. The new approach to developing and managing career in IT is actually taking control of your destiny and creating a career profile, similar to what I have mentioned, that is more effectively preparing you for the unknown and the unexpected. A profile is representative of a composite of levers. It is passion, life stage, and related personal factors, or career aspirations, aptitudes, education, trainings, experiences. To compete in this very competitive market, IT professionals must maximize the opportunities available and control and accelerate the levers of their career profile by following the CAR factors. You know what CAR factors? So C is for being well connected. I think we need to all have a very diverse background of connections. A is for being highly adaptable to whatever situations there is going to be. Learn fast, fail fast, and then recover fast. And always be receptive to new opportunities. This is actually my second life in Coke. I joined Coke when I was still younger, and then I moved out of Coke, and then joined other 2 companies in between. And then I joined back when I was invited back to join Coke. And now I am staying here for 13 years, going 14 years this August this year. So I think we all have that. We need to all have that car. having well managed connections. We need to be highly adaptable and always receptive to new opportunities. The problem with opportunities is it doesn't often come in several occasions, and it's just there. It just needs to be grabbed. No, so whenever an opportunity or a change is there, embrace it. If you're comfortable, as I said, then you are not learning. So I like this photo of this ant actually lifting a small branch because it is defying the notion that it's just small and it's weak. So when you put yourself in an uncomfortable situation, there is the biggest opportunity for growth. You ask yourself always, what am I going to learn in this situation? I remember when I first was offered a role to manage a team of IT practitioners or IT professionals, and that was the first time that I had to do um, a very expandable role. I asked myself, can I do it? And because I did not have the confidence at that time, I said no. So it was a promotion. It was something that I would lead a huge team. And I said no. Why? Because I felt that I am already comfortable. I like what I was doing at that time. I already had the connections that I needed. I was enjoying what I was doing. And then my boss actually told me, I'll give you the next weekend to think it through. I am not going to receive a no from you when we get on Monday. So I spoke to my husband at that time. And then, you know what my husband told me? He said that I should have said yes. And I should be saying yes the following Monday. Why? Because it's going to be a good opportunity for me to learn. I may be enjoying what I am having now or all the learnings that I am learning now, but there's going to be a different opportunity when you move to the next level. So I said, okay, I didn't know what to expect. So I said, okay. So come Monday, I said yes to my boss. And then he told me that he's going to be with me all throughout and he will be my mentor. So that gave me a piece of confidence to myself and also to the new leadership role that I was going to handle at that time. So my suggestion or my advice when you encounter that, please do not say no to a promotion. Always say yes. Your leaders are seeing potential in you that you might not be seeing from your perspective. When your leader is actually seeing a positive potential in you, that means that you need to work on something so that you would have the same lens that your leader is using and be able to have that confidence so that in return you can perform the job well. Okay, so it's okay to make vulnerable. And I made the mistake. I made the mistake by saying no at that point in time. But I guess the new world is about continuous learning and becoming what you really want to be. I may not have wanted a higher position at that time, but the desire in me have always been wanting to help. And one idea of coming out of that is being able to help more because in going to another role, you're actually expanding your circle of trust, you're expanding your breadth of responsibilities and your depth of accountabilities. So it's a new learning. One key also to building confidence is expanding collaborator of trust or your network of trust. I remember another author from one book that I read that once in your life, you need to have four C's. You need to have a collaborator, a person whom you are always confident to actually share and who will have the same views as you. And then a coach. A coach is someone who will not be telling you what to do, but who will actually be able to bring out what you need to do in you, from you, without actually telling you what to do. So it's like a teacher asking you questions and you answering the teachers, ultimately finding out for yourself that, hey, the answer is probably is just from me. I mean, the teacher is not really doing his job. The teacher is just teaching you how to do it or what to do, but eventually the solution to the problem is actually coming from you. The third is you need to have a cheerleader. uh, my cheerleader has always been my father or my parents, my father and my mother. And whenever I attain something, I always go back to them and then tell them, oh, this is what I have achieved. Now that I am married, my number one fan, my number one cheerleader is my husband. Whatever I achieve, he is always there to support me. He has been a very great cheerleader and a very fun cheerleader as well. And then lastly is a critic. You need to have a critic in your life. That person is the one who will be giving you a different perspective, not always saying yes to what you think, but at least giving you a different light of what you're thinking and probably a different lens. So be uncomfortable, making sure that whatever is out there is not going to be easy, but will allow you to learn and to grow. Okay. And then lastly is helping others. I think if I can share with you, there have been two main things that I have considered very close to my heart, big initiatives that we have done in Coca-Cola. So if I can share one is having this code festival. So code stands for Coca-Cola Developer Enablement Initiative. So this was born in 2019. And this was out of the idea that I thought, because in multinational corporations, accept it or not, most of those who are invited would actually come from the top 5 schools and universities in the country. So I was talking to my CEO and telling him, you know what, not all the diamonds are actually out there in the top schools in the country, but there are diamonds in the rough. And then he was asking me, and then this is what he told me. You know what, we are the same. We are not graduates of the top schools. He is Irish, and he was telling me that he was also not a graduate of the top schools in Ireland, mainly because his parents cannot afford it. And he was one with me when I shared the idea of why not do a hackathon. And that hackathon will pave the way for number one, creating a pool of talent that major companies in the Philippines can actually get from. So I partnered with Microsoft Philippines at that point in time, and then also got the sponsorship of Globe and PLDT. And we worked together. The 4 companies work together. Microsoft has given YIPS as a non-profit organization to help us out in the communicating activity. So what happened was we invited schools who were already partners with Microsoft. And these schools, I specifically chose them from the list of schools that Microsoft has given us. And I wanted to pick the universities, state universities and state colleges where it's not really part of the top 5. No? So I chose the schools and I made sure that I talked to the deans of the schools. So I invited them and asked them that, okay, so we're doing a hackathon at Coke and we wanted to invite your students and your best students. And the ultimate objective is to make sure that when we give you problems, you will be able to share with us what probable solutions your kids or your students can actually think of. We wanted to get fresh ideas from the next generation of leaders, and we are talking about students who are in the 3rd year or 4th year in college. So we partnered with the schools, and we have actually invited 6 state colleges during that time. We got a total of 100 participants, and we trimmed them down to 30, and all of them provided the ideas that are focusing on Coca-Cola Beverages Philippines, customer, consumer, community, and employee engagement or corporation engagement. And wow, we got several ideas. And we've given them an opportunity to actually present or pitch in their ideas to the senior management of Coca-Cola. That is giving them an opportunity to actually voice out what they have and be creative enough, and also be speaking to the senior leadership team and responding to questions about the solutions or the applications that they have developed. So we just did not give them a pool for um, for spotlight, so that the companies, the four companies who are working on this initiative, can actually see them as talent. But we have also given them an avenue wherein they can showcase their creativity, and they can showcase their design, technical knowledge, and presentation skills. So that is one. The other piece that I am most proud of with the work that I am doing right now is on the diversity and inclusion. I am a women empowerment champion in Coca-Cola. In 2019, I was the only woman leader in the leadership team. So I am supported by one one Irish leader who is our CEO. We have an Indian CFO. We have a German supply chain vice president, and we had a Mexican people vice president. And then the four others are actually our Filipino leaders. So one thing that I am actually very very proud of is the women championship or the women empowerment. So we encourage women to be productive and be participative in all the engagements in the company. Not that I'm saying that Coca-Cola is not there, but we have a lot of work to do. And one of the key things that we have started is a work together with Google, wherein we call it I Am Remarkable. Women as a minority group or minority or least represented group is actually encouraged to speak up more and be confident about their capabilities. So I love helping others. I love making sure that there is an opportunity not just for one but for many, and be able to actually push forward an agenda that is not just helping myself or helping others, but making others feel confident about helping others as well. Okay. The last slide that I am showing you is about knowledge or imagination. And I remember I have two boys. One is 11-year-old, and then the other one is a 9-year-old. They are a natural um, kids. No, so when we started online classes in 20 last year, when we started on, it was like they were natural. Of course, they did not like online classes, especially my older son, who would always tell me that PE online sucks, and he's not really happy having PE online. So these kids, the younger one, once asked me, "Mommy, which is more important for you, knowledge or imagination?" Of course, I wanted to hear what he wanted to say. So I picked knowledge, knowing that for sure imagination is the more important. So I said knowledge. And then he said, "You know what, Mom? Knowledge is limited. Imagination is limitless." And this is coming from a 9-year-old. And I want to encourage all of you who are listening. Imagine your place in the digital society. This society has already created several digital businesses. So imagine where you want to be. And the whole world is actually very open right now. So you broaden your career path options by evaluating new opportunities. And mind you, when I was younger, I had very limited career opportunities, mainly because we all know what we were, just what the career path would be. But nowadays, you can be whatever you want to be. You define your purpose by evaluating your past and your present experiences. You create a personal narrative that transcends your current role, even your current aspirations. And did you know that the opposite of success is not actually failure, but boredom? Diba? Nakakatawa yun. But I think that is where we need to start looking at the different facet of success. Channel your purpose to maximize the value you can provide by seeking opportunities that will merge your sense of purpose with motivating challenges. Your own or in your organization, your business, or society at large. I once had this mentor, and he is an Irish guy. He lives in Singapore, and he was leading our commercial team in Coca-Cola, and he was assigned now as a CEO of three smaller bottling operations in the other countries. I once asked him. Um, uh, I never wanted to I never wanted higher rules. That's what I told him. But I felt that if I don't get it, I will not be able to help in any way possible. And then this is what he said. You know what? The reason why you go higher or you go to a different path is because of your desire to help. When we had this president in the Philippines, he was coming from a salesman rank all the way up to becoming the president. He felt that the more he goes up the ladder, the more he is able to expand his circle of people whom he can help. And I think that's what we need to dream of. We need to dream of how do we actually help a larger group of people. And when we do that, is it through our connections? Is it through the roles that we play in the organization? Or is it through the roles that we play in society? So as I leave this last slide with you, um, I just have one story. When I was in another FMCG company, when I was connected there, one of my developers was asking me because I am going to move to another company at that time. So one of the developers was asking me, when are you never contented? You always move. I mean, every 2 years you're moving to another company. And that was when I was younger. And then I said, contented? Of course I am contented. And then she was asking me, so why do you always need to move? Why do you always have to leave somewhere? And then I said, you know what? If you're just going to ask me, if I did not have any family, I would have probably been very contented with where I am, with all the things that I am having, and with all the fun that I am having with this kind of job. But I am never contented with what I can give for my family. And the reason for that is I will always want more when it comes to making my parents comfortable as they grow old. And now that I am older and I now have a family, the desire is even higher because I want my kids to have a better future and for them to grow up to better citizens of the Philippines. So I think that is where I wanted to go as a professional and as a mother and as a wife. And the North Star for me is making sure that I am able to do all these things, but at the same time, be also able to help other people reach their dreams and aspirations. This is Winnie Rebancos. I am the Chief Information Officer for Coca-Cola Beverages Philippines Inc. And I am very blessed to have shared with you not just my piece of my life story, but also um, creating a tech career path for you. So I hope that you have learned from what I have shared. Thank you so much and have a very good evening.
Okay, thank you so much, Miss Winnie. Such an insightful talk, right? It's really important to choose the people you work with, right? Especially in looking for a mentor. Okay, we were not born great in this world, so that's why it's very important to look for a very good mentor who could be with you with your career path. Am I right?
Correct.
Okay, thank you so much. I know our viewers were able to learn something from that. Thank you so much again, Miss Winnie.
Thank you.
Thank you.